Some of your best ideas don't come when you're trying to think. They come when you're doing nothing, completely disconnected, in the most unexpected place. You've experienced this before, even if you didn't notice it at the time. That moment when you stop forcing your mind, stop chasing an answer, stop going in circles, and suddenly, without effort, something clicks. Not at your desk, not while you're working, not when you're actively trying to solve the problem, but in a quiet, ordinary moment, when your mind is finally left alone, maybe in the washroom, maybe during a short break, maybe when you're just sitting still with nothing to do. And for a second, everything becomes clear. You pause, because just moments ago, the same problem felt complicated, heavy, confusing. But now, it feels simple. Not because the problem changed, but because you did. Think about a student sitting with a difficult question. They've been trying for a long time, reading it again and again, trying different approaches, checking every step. At first, they're focused. Then they start to feel pressure. Then frustration slowly builds. Their mind tightens. Thoughts repeat. The same ideas keep looping, without leading anywhere. The harder they try, the more stuck they feel. So they stop. Not because they solved it, but because they can't push any further. They step away, sit quietly. No phone, no noise, no pressure. And in that still moment, something shifts. Their mind relaxes, not solving immediately, but processing quietly in the background. And then, the answer appears, not dramatic, not forced, just clear enough to understand or imagine someone at work. They've been staring at a problem for hours. Numbers don't match. Logic feels incomplete. Something is missing, but they can't see what. They keep trying, rechecking, overanalyzing, but their thinking becomes narrow, stuck in the same loop. Then they take a break, step away from the screen, sit in silence for a few minutes. No task, no pressure, no urgency. And in that quiet space, the missing piece suddenly clicks. Not because something new appeared, but because their mind finally had space to reorganize what was already there. This is how your mind actually works. There are two layers to your thinking. Your conscious mind, the part you control, the part that focuses, analyzes, and tries to solve problems in real time. And your subconscious mind, the part that works quietly in the background. It collects information, connects patterns, and processes experiences over time. When you are busy, distracted, or under pressure, your conscious mind takes over. It jumps from task to task, reacting to what needs attention. But in doing so, it limits deeper thinking, because it focuses on control, not connection. But when you step away, even for a short moment, your conscious activity slows down, and your subconscious gets space to surface its work. It begins connecting pieces you didn't even realize were related. Things you read, conversations you had, problems you thought about earlier. All of it starts aligning quietly. And that alignment is what you experience as an idea. It doesn't feel like effort, it feels like realization. Now look at your daily life. Most of your time is filled with input, notifications, messages, conversations, work, noise, screens. Even when you're not working, you're consuming something, scrolling, watching, listening. Your mind rarely gets uninterrupted time. And without uninterrupted time, your thoughts remain incomplete. You start thinking, then get distracted. You explore an idea, then switch to something else. Over time, this creates a pattern. You feel mentally busy, but not always clear. Active, but not deeply focused. Now compare that with a moment of stillness. No distractions, no expectations, no immediate task, just silence. At first, it feels empty, but that emptiness is where processing begins. Your mind starts to slow down. Thoughts that were ignored earlier begin to surface. Connections begin to form. And slowly, clarity appears. Not forced, not rushed, just natural. This is why unexpected places often become moments of insight. Not because those places are special, but because they remove what usually blocks your thinking. Distraction, noise, constant interruption. Let's take another example. A writer facing writer's block. They sit in front of a blank page, trying to force ideas. They think harder, try different angles, rewrite again and again, but nothing flows. The pressure to create blocks the process. So they stop, step away, sit quietly, no intention to write. And in that silence, a sentence appears. Simple, but real. Then another thought follows. And slowly, the flow returns. The difference wasn't effort. It was space. Space allowed their mind to move naturally, instead of being forced. Now think about people who never allow this space. They fill every moment with something, every pause with their phone, every silence with noise. Their mind becomes used to constant stimulation, and without realizing it, They lose the ability to sit with their own thoughts. So when they face problems, they struggle to find clarity, not because they can't think, but because their thinking never slows down enough to go deeper. On the other hand, people who allow quiet moments develop a different kind of thinking. They don't rush to fill every gap. They let their mind wander, process, settle. At first, it might feel uncomfortable. Silence often does, because it removes distraction and leaves you alone with your thoughts. But over time, that silence becomes familiar, and in that familiarity, thinking becomes clearer, more structured, more connected. Now return to that moment in the washroom. It seems small, unimportant, routine, but psychologically, it represents something powerful. A rare moment where nothing is expected from you. No messages, no tasks, no pressure. Just you and your thoughts. And in that moment, your mind shifts. From reacting to reflecting, from noise to clarity, from scattered thinking to connected thinking. And suddenly, something clicks, an idea, a solution, a realization. You pause, not because it's surprising, but because it feels right, complete enough to understand. This is your mind working without interference. No pressure, no distraction, just a continuous flow of thought reaching a conclusion. And this reveals something important. Your best ideas don't always come from trying harder. They come when your mind is allowed to complete what it started, when it is given space to connect what it already knows. So the next time you find yourself in that quiet, unexpected place and an idea appears, don't ignore it. Don't brush it off as random, because it's not. It's your mind finally catching up with itself, finally organizing the noise into something meaningful. And maybe that's the real insight. Not that ideas come in the washroom, but that they come when you finally step away, long enough to hear your own thoughts.